This news update is brought to you by...
From rom-coms to dramatic tearjerkers and hit action movies, video on demand from Flow's got what you need, baby. Spend some we time tonight. Oh yeah. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we flow.
It's Wednesday, January 13, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today News Update. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning. Desperate cries for relief from severe water outages in the northern and eastern parishes have not fallen on deaf ears. So assures Minister of Water Resource Management, Dr. David Estwick, who yesterday revealed a plan to remedy the problem as government officials met on the water crisis. Our Sandy Dean reports.
Dr. David Estwick emerged from a meeting of the Infrastructural Committee of Cabinet, which examined the prevailing water crisis with a fresh plan. He told Barbados Today 2 permanent desalination plants with a capacity of 6 million gallons each will be constructed in the north of the island to service residents in parishes including St. Joseph, St. John, St. Peter, and St. Lucie. In addition, he says the Barbados Water Authority will also be looking at using mobile desalination plants for temporary purposes. Noting that water levels in reservoirs in the north were severely low, he said the BWA was tapping into new aquifers, which will be put into use shortly. Next week, some 3.5 million gallons of water will be added to the water system through the St. Philip Augmentation Project, which was commissioned in 2013 to alleviate water shortages in St. Philip and Christchurch. Sandy Dean, Barbados Today.
We also got the St. Philip West MP to weigh in on news that he could be facing a challenge from Calypsonian John King for his constituency in the next general election. Dr. Estwick is not at all disturbed by the development. In fact, he tells King to bring it on. Estwick added that Barbados is a democracy and anyone can challenge him. John King was introduced to the St. Philip West constituency branch of the Barbados Labour Party on Sunday night as one of 3 prospective candidates to take on Dr. Estwick in the constituency he has held for the Democratic Labour Party since 2003. Get your house in order. The National Union of Public Workers issued this stern message to the Barbados Revenue Authority as negotiations between the 2 sides hit a snag. In an almost 2-hour meeting yesterday with close to 200 BRA employees, NUPW General Secretary Rosamond Smith advised the workers not to sign option forms recently issued by the government agency. Smith insisted that the Revenue Authority should not have issued the forms until certain concerns expressed by the workers had been addressed.
It makes no sense in asking workers to sign an option form when they are not aware of the terms and conditions that they will be signing on to. Secondly, we are saying that the other matters will also have to be finalized. They had concerns with the sick leave, vacation, car loans, and things like that, which would be embodied within the terms and conditions. The transition would officially expire at the 31st of March this year. And while we would recognize that, yes, they want to start up the process early with the Personnel Administration Division, I think they need to get the house in order first.
Local businesses can now keep their doors open longer. That's because changes to the Shops Act are now in effect. According to Chief Labour Officer Vincent Burnett, shops can now operate from 7 a.m. on Mondays continuously through to 10 p.m. on Sundays. Under the Act, businesses are only required to be closed on 4 holidays: Good Friday, Easter Sunday, Christmas Day, and Independence Day. However, operators can apply for a special license to open their businesses on those holidays. The Chief Labour Officer, however, makes it clear that no shop assistant should be working between 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. unless the employer secures a certificate from the Labour Department. The sports news now, and Barbados' Miguel Antoine is expected to be one of the featured fighters when the Guyana Boxing Board of Control stages a boxing card on February 20th in East host Demerara. A number of regional fighters are expected in Guyana to match gloves with their Guyanese counterparts. At the moment, the GBBC is in negotiations with the management teams of overseas pugilists. The main bout is expected to see recently crowned Fecker Box Junior welterweight champion Dexter Gonzalez put his title at stake against Antoine in a 12-round affair. Antoine has dominated the Guyana scene since he started his professional career at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall a few years ago. Among his victims to date are Revlon Lake, Mark Austin, Jermaine King, Cassius Matthews, Sean Pyle, and Paul Lewis. Gonzalez, on the other hand, upset the world-rated Clive Atwell to secure the Fecker Box Junior welterweight title, which will be at stake come February 20. Barbados' Ezra Lord is also expected to fight on the boxing card.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Naniki Music Festival presents 5 amazing shows from January 13th to 17th, 2016. On January 13th at Holders, we salute Urban Burgee with Island in the Sun by Stefan Walcott's 1688 Big Band. On the 14th, our free Sunset Concert at Frank Cullimer Hall with the Rudy Smith Quartet. Reggae legend band Aswad takes over Holders on January 15th. On January 16th, the Nicholas Branker Orchestra and Grammy Award winner Roberta Flack return to Holders. Finally, at Naniki on Sunday, January 17th, Caribbean Fusion in the Hills with Edwin Yearwood, Leston Paul, Ras Eiley, and Serenader. Others include Nikita, Mylan Clark, Rhea Driggs, Vanessa Lee, and many more. General admission tickets from $70 and $250 for VIP.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
On the regional scene, former Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Baldwin Spencer was questioned by police yesterday in connection with an ongoing bus probe. Police sources say Spencer is not being treated as a suspect in the case in which buses were donated by the government of South Korea and were registered in the names of 3 former ministers. The probe involves former finance minister and current UPP political leader Harold Lovell, former education minister Dr. Jackie Quinn, and former Public Works Minister Wilmer Daniel. Spencer has admitted to lobbying for the buses, but he says the former UN Ambassador Dr. John Ash finalized the arrangements. Spencer's attorney says his client was not interviewed by police, but submitted a written statement. On the world scene, 2 small United States Navy vessels are expected to be safely released today after being in Iranian custody yesterday. The craft, which were en route to Kuwait, to Bahrain when they disappeared. We get more in this report from Reuters.
10 sailors aboard 2 U.S. Navy boats were seized by Iran in the Gulf on Tuesday. U.S. officials said Tehran said the crew members would be promptly returned. A senior U.S. defense official said the U.S. had lost contact earlier in the day with 2 small craft en route from Kuwait to Bahrain. U.S. officials told Reuters it was unclear how or if the boats became disabled. Another U.S. official said Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif assured U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry that the U.S. sailors would be allowed to continue their journey promptly. While both sides appear eager not to let the incident escalate further, it comes at a delicate time for U.S.-Iranian relations. Iran and 6 world powers forged a landmark nuclear accord last July. News of the incident broke as U.S. President Barack Obama prepared to make his final State of the Union address to the U.S. Congress. He is due to leave office in January 2017.
And that's news and sports, but there's more on our website at www.barbados3.tv. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screen play at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Pernella Wedderburn. Good morning.